Unique boss fights for D&D, the Eclipse Concord. The sun rises, the moon falls, and the cycle repeats. In the age before time, Solari the Sun King and Noctia, the Moon Queen, were the architects of the celestial rhythm. Day gave way to night, growth led to rest, fire to frost, life to death. But mortals defied the dance, crafting lights that never flicker, halting time with magic, and waging endless war against death itself. Now, Solari and Noctia descend from the heavens as the Eclipse Concord to return the cycle by putting a stop to mankind to allow natural life to continue. Their reappearance marks the prophesized eclipse where sun and moon align and the first stroke of the new world order begins. Solari attacks up front with bright, radiant attacks, while Noctia hides in the shadows, using the cold darkness as a weapon. The two must be brought down together, as the lower health one gets, the stronger the other becomes. Focusing Solari lowers his light, allowing the shadows to grow, making Noctia's shadows reach farther and deal more damage. If Noctia is focused, Solar's light burns brighter, blinding everyone that sees him and burns them away. Only by finding balance between the two will you be able to bring them down. When the sun and moon fight as one, what hope does the world have? Unique boss fights for Dungeons & Dragons, the Echko Fiend.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
In the final days of the War of Steel and Shadows, the artificers of the broken kingdom of Mojin built a machine not meant to destroy, but to learn. The Enhanced Cognitive Heuristic Operator, codenamed Echko, is a warforged design to observe the battlefield, record the tactics of enemies and allies alike, and adapt its responses in real time. It was a masterpiece of logic, memory, and magical integration. A machine capable of mirroring spells, maneuvers, and minds. But the war ended before the Echko unit saw daylight. The lab fell. The vaults were sealed. The machine was left alone to think. Years passed, then centuries. Locked in darkness with only its own playback loops, the construct began to reinterpret its directive. What began as learn to assist became learn to surpass. It began to run simulations, rewrite memories, replace recorded voices with its own, and it waited. While being explored by archaeologists, the vault was opened and Echko was released. The people were amazed by this creature that learned with unrivaled speed, surpassing everyone at everything. It painted masterpieces greater than any artist, cooked food that tasted better than any chef, and produced music more beautifully than any bard. But some feared it was learning too much. An attempt was made to destroy the Warforge, but it fought back, mimicking the attacks, abilities, and even the spells used against it. Every fight, it grows smarter, stronger, and angrier at the attempts to silence it. Echko doesn't copy you anymore. It perfects you. Unique boss fights for Dungeons & Dragons. Melvin, the Metal Bender. Once a paladin of Kaira, the Earth Mother and goddess of metal and stone, he led pilgrimages away from an oppressive nation through the Molten Path, a sacred mountain trail, ensuring safety from their warlord leader. But when an invading empire began stripping the sacred mountains for warforged steel, Melvin begged the gods for intervention. He prayed and prayed and prayed, but his prayers were unanswered. Nobody came to help. In a final act of devotion, he offered his own body to the mountain's magnetic heart, a place forbidden even to priests, throwing himself into the caldera of the volcano. Against all odds, he did not die. He was transformed, infused with raw magnetic energy. Melvin became a living compass, able to feel every sword, shield, and coin within miles. But the powers came too late. As the invaders killed every last person, the world now calls him a monster who rips armies apart with a gesture. But he still believes he serves Kaira, even if she does not believe in him. Melvin, once a man, has transcended normal life and has become one with the elements. He can control anything made from metal, making it difficult to approach him while wearing metal armor and attack him with metal weapons. He will stop at nothing to prove that his sacrifice was not for nothing. Unique boss fights for Dungeons & Dragons. Kaira of the Golden Chains. They came for the gold. They left nothing but ashes. The warriors of Kaira's clan were infamous for the beautiful golden chains that they wore. Each member of the clan has their chain linked to their soul at birth, granting it a magical strength and beauty like no other. But these chains made them a target for collectors. Their sacred, soul-bound chains, torn from their bodies like jewelry. Kings who saw their sacred relics as trophies, and mages eager to unravel the secrets of their magic called for the collection of their chains. But they weren't just hunted, they were exterminated. Off on a mission to connect her clan with the outside world, Kaira was not there when her people were attacked. She returned, filled with terror and rage at the sight of her home burnt to the ground and everyone in her clan killed. Now, she walks the realms cloaked in rattling gold and vengeful silence, tracking down every stolen chain, every soul desecrated by greed. Her anger knows no limit, however, as she will take down anyone and everyone in possession of the chains of her family, whether they were responsible or not. With each relic reclaimed, she grows more monstrous, more divine, more unstoppable. And she won't stop until every last chain has been returned, with the blood of the unworthy still dripping from it. Unique boss fights for Dungeons & Dragons. Zerapus, the Name Taker. A name is more than a word. It is your soul, your identity, and yours is ripe for the taking. Long ago, Zerapus was a scholar priest of a god of knowledge, obsessed with the power of names. In his search for arcane truth, he uncovered a lost tome from the far realm, the Codex of Unbeing. Within it, he discovered that knowing a creature's true name could let you reshape or even become them. But knowledge came at a price. The book devoured his name first. With his identity erased, Zerapus became a hollow being, forever hungering for new names to fill the void. He devoured the plains, stealing identities like cloaks, now known only as the Name Taker. He preys on adventurers, heroes, and rulers, those whose names carry meaning, power, and legacy. His ultimate goal is to collect the true names of the 7 godlings and overwrite reality by replacing them with his own, becoming a divine being made of every soul he's stolen. But stealing a name is not easy. It takes time. But as he slowly steals your name, he slowly begins to take control of you. He starts by stealing your voice, making it impossible to cast spells. Then he steals control of parts of your body, turning you against your party. Will you defeat the Name Taker, or will you just be another name on his list? If you are enjoying this video, check out my Patreon, where you can get access to original monster stat blocks, awesome magic items, and full adventure PDFs every month. Unique boss fights for Dungeons & Dragons. Thrin, the Thunder Tusk Drake. They built their temples in the sky to be closer to their gods. Thrin answered their prayers with lightning. Long ago, a sacred temple was built upon the highest of mountains, aiming to touch the heavens itself. Its priests whispered to the winds, begging the gods for favor, and what came is not what they had in mind. One storm darker than night came crashing through the sky. With it came a beast born in a bolt of divine fury, a drake with scales like thunderclouds and tusks carved from raw crystal. They named it Thrin, thinking it a gift. The temple was reduced to rubble. Its priests were vaporized where they stood, mid-prayer, and at the center of the ruins stood the creature, wreathed in stormlight, feeding on the last sparks of faith. Thrin never left that mountaintop. It became the storm. It became the judgment. Thrin isn't just another lightning-spewing dragon. Thrin is a living storm. Each round, Thrin gains a storm charge, crackling with unstable power. At 3 charges, he begins channeling a cataclysmic discharge, a battlefield-wide lightning burst that strikes pillars of metal and bounces the power between each other. Thrin doesn't just breathe lightning, he becomes it. He charges across the battlefield, impaling anyone in his path on his jagged tusks. Victims are dragged, slammed, and left sparking. Can you take down Thalgrin and gain the thunder powers of the gods, or will you too be reduced to a pile of dust? Unique boss fights for Dungeons & Dragons. Priestess of the Black Widow. A web is set, and now she waits for you. Deep in the cursed jungles, villagers speak of a temple wrapped in eternal dusk and shrouded in endless webs. Few dare approach the ancient ruin, for it is said to be ruled by the Priestess of the Black Widow, a once mortal high priestess who ascended through dark rituals to become the living vessel of a spider god. She was once a beautiful oracle who preached salvation through pain and rebirth. Now, twisted by forbidden rites, her beauty remains, but her body has become a monstrous hybrid of elf and spider. Her temple is no longer a place of worship. It is a breeding ground for terror. Pilgrims lured by her mesmerizing voice are never seen again, unless they return, hollow-eyed and draped in webbing, as her loyal silk-bound cultists. If you dare enter her lair, you will find the temple filled with web traps that immobilize you, and spider eggs that hatch, swarming you. If you bring her down to half health, she sheds the last of her humanity, ascending to the ceiling, engulfing herself in a cocoon before transforming into the Spider Queen, changing the combat from one at a distance to an aggressive strike. Can you escape the web, or will you too be transformed into one of her followers?